Okay, what do you think is the best job to start off in for commercial real estate? Like, what do you think is the best job?
So the best job, okay, I guess.
And I'll tell you if I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, in my eyes,
Yeah.
the best job to start out
Yes.
in commercial real estate is capital markets,
Okay.
transaction side. I only say that because you generate money day one, if you will. Like you're exposed to
Okay.
deals. You have probably a good base salary and discretionary bonus.
All right, so let me interject. If you can't get into the capital markets job, because we all know
Yes.
those are reserved for the select few.
Right.
They don't tend to look like us.
They don't.
And when a broker has to decide whether to give the job to someone that looks like us and someone that, goes to their church or
Who lives next door.
Or is a client's, relative, or their own, blood.
Yep.
That's a very hard
Yes.
job to get into because a lot of these brokerage teams, these capital markets teams, they run very lean.
Yep.
There's more brokers than there are analysts or associates, right? There's several brokers, and then one or two analysts supporting, them on their millions, if not $1 billion of transactions every single year. So if you can't get into capital markets, what is this? I guess the second best job to get into in
Yes.
brokerage?
Research.
There you go. Yeah.
And that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Yeah.
Research provides you with the foundation, the fundamentals,
Yeah.
the acumen that is commercial real estate, cap rate, net absorption,
Yeah.
vacancy versus availability, inventory,
Yeah.
supply, like all of that stuff you start to understand and research because you write about it, you state the facts, and you understand how the market's moving. And that provides you value. Well, that's value add to you, to brokers,
Right.
when you work with them about how the market's doing, what are market rates, if they're X, why are they X?
Right.
Well, vacancy's this.
Mhm.
There's new development that's being absorbed within a month.
Right.
Like that sort of stuff you learn in research.
Right.
And it really gives you everything that you need to prosper on the transactional side.
Yeah, definitely. And then to your point, you get a chance to interact with the brokers as well.
Yep.
So, I don't want to be hard on the brokerage community for not being more inclusive, but it's very much a family-oriented business. Real estate is in general. If you look at real estate as an industry, there's tons of families that own tons of properties and have generated their wealth based on the properties they've owned over generations. So research gives you an opportunity to get in because not a lot of people want to stay in research. And it's no slight to the research community.
Correct.
But it's viewed as, okay, if you're really, really, really good at it, then you'll always have a job because everybody needs a great researcher, right? They're worth their weight in gold. But then if you are new to the industry and you have a long runway and you have other interests, maybe you want to get in project management, consulting, development, whatever you want to get into, research is a great start. And it puts you in front of brokers, puts you in front of project management, everybody needs research. So, you'll constantly get emails, you'll be in meetings. I remember researchers at CRE, which we'll talk about a company in a minute, they were, always being tagged for their information, their research, their reports, by brokers, by myself, who was an appraiser, etc. And then you're also learn about the market in very detailed analysis. So and there's some other things that they can add on at the other side of their career, like get into pro formas, get into development budgets. Researchers don't get involved or get that granular, but it is a great entry level job. Doesn't pay the best, but it gets you in front of brokers that you would otherwise never ever meet or have a conversation with, and then it gives you a chance to prove yourself and see how articulate you are about the market fundamentals, etc. players, transactions in the market, etc. So yeah, no, that's what I was kind of getting to. So yeah, capital markets, obviously number one. If you can't get into that, then number two would definitely be research. Number three, I would say would be where I came from.
Yeah.
Appraisal, valuations.
Yep.
The least sexiest job in commercial real estate. I always say all grind, no glory. Nobody cares about what you're writing. Your numbers have to be very precise. And when I say precise, I don't necessarily mean right. I just mean precise in what they think their valuation should
Correct.
be. So if they don't agree with it, then that's gonna cause a lot of issues. And then client contacts your boss before they even talk with you, and then he's trying to maintain that relationship. And then you kind of have to either juice it up a little bit or bring it down, depending on what you're valuing, what state it's in. But yeah, I would say appraisal is probably the third best opportunity in commercial real estate for those who want to get in the industry. I would also preference this all by saying there are tons of jobs in commercial real estate. I particularly focus on more the investment services, more the transactional side. So you have consulting, you have project management, you have property management, etc. And those are great career options as well. Great money in those jobs. There's great opportunities in those jobs as well. But for the purpose of this interview series that I'm doing, the blog series that I'm doing as well, I tend to focus on the transactional side of the business, and that the best entry into that side of the business is, like I said, capital markets, research, and appraisal. If you can get into investment banking, okay.
Even better.
Right? But one reason why I didn't mention it, or we haven't talked about it, is because that's a very, very hard job to get into. You have to go to very prestigious schools to even get access to those type of jobs, and that's not necessarily an opportunity for the majority of people. So I think that capital markets, research, and appraisal is something that you can turn around tomorrow and definitely start networking towards. And if you want to do investment banking, Wall Street, etc., you might want to tune into another series on that.